It's that time again. Time for some real talk about real issues to enhance your real life. Whatever you think, whatever you know, whatever you feel, Tanya doesn't mind talking about it. Get ready for some real talk that is always rated R, because Talk with Tanya has got to be relevant. Talk with Tanya has got to be refreshing. But most importantly, Talk with Tanya has got to be real. Tune in right now for Real Talk with Tanya White.
All right, we're here once again, live, doing some live interviews with the 2025 Today's Woman, Most Admired Woman nominees. And today we have Jessica Mathis, aka Divinity Rose of She Dreams Entertainment. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks so much. I'm really glad to be here.
Listen, I want to find out. I'm all about names. Let's start with Divinity Rose. Where did you get that, and why did you call yourself Divinity Rose?
I had a really unusual childhood where I went through foster homes and a lot of different identities and names. And then I was adopted, and then my name changed again as a teenager. And then I reached a point in my 20s where I had become such a people pleaser. And such this mixed bag identity of other people's expectations that I began to unearth myself and made the decision to follow my passions and seek out who I was and follow that inner guidance. And somebody I was dating at the time had a dream of me leading an angelic army with a sword in one hand and a rose in the other. And for me, that kind of means this balance between being receptive of your environment, right, and your spiritual lessons and things like that, with intention and force. You can't just wait for everything to come to you. You have to intend, and you have to act, and you have to plan, and you have to grow and learn. And I always had the kind of this writer, performer, leadership personality. Mm-hmm. And so in order to become that best version of myself, I needed to learn to balance those two things. And simultaneously, I had been thinking about picking my own name since I felt like I'd never really had my own last name. And when he had that dream, he started calling me Divinity Rose in his journals. And I had just made a website for acting and making the decision to stop trying all these other school ideas or things to please other people and follow myself. And I made the website purple, yellow, green, and I stuck the name on there how does that feel? I'll think about it overnight. I'll make a decision tomorrow. And the next day I got a package in the mail from my grandmother and my biological family, who I didn't get stuff from very often. And out comes this necklace with the jade rose and yellow, purple, green beads on it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use that name. And I didn't realize it was a brand or that it would become a brand. And then in 2009, and I went on to produce over 400 art showcases right after that. 3 years. Really, that was where I cut my teeth, producing and collaborating and encouraging, trying to build community, and encouraging people to live their dreams too, while I was trying to live mine. And it got to a point where I was paying my bills. 5 years later, somebody's like, hey, can I have your address? And usually if somebody asked me that on Facebook, I would be like, no. Seemed really genuine. She's like, I have something. It was my grandmother's. I think you should have it. And she mailed it to me. And when I opened it, it was the exact same necklace, but all rose colored.
Oh, my goodness.
It's meaningful guidance in my transformation from trying to live with all these expectations or things to please other people versus what my own soul was telling me I was supposed to be doing or supposed to become. And so it was a really interesting journey for me. And then in 2009, Facebook forced me to upload my driver's license and would not give me my account back with over 5,000 followers until I did that. And then they changed it to Jessica Mathis. And so that just kind of broke the brand, that broke the name. And now I know people that still call me Divi, some of my closest friends, and I have friends that call me Jessica. And I'll answer to either, because that kind of forced me to also go into all right, how do we accept ourselves wholly as both of these personas, as the one that we want to be, right? The leader and the writer and the performer, but also this little girl that went through all this as a kid. So it was part of my artistic and personal journey.
Oh my goodness. So art really does imitate life. And that's why you are in the arts category, correct?
Actually, I'm in media.
Media. Okay.
Yeah.
Media. Tell us about She Dreams Entertainment.
She Dreams is a content development and production company. So we really focus on female forward stories in our original IP department, where we're developing ideas and concepts and then pushing to produce them or have them produced, if that might mean selling a script to another production company or having it produced by somebody else. But then we also do some client work occasionally for select clients, like for social media videos or commercials, things like that, or work for hire kind of.
Okay.
For the most part, we focus on creating concepts and stories and scripts and then producing them that are female forward, that embrace diversity, inclusion. You know, I would say it's a feminist company, but it's not like an anti-men company. It's about those ideas of inclusivity and like, how do we look for solutions in our communities and societies? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Y'all go vote for Jessica Mathis right now in the media category, todayswomannow.com. Now, I love what you said, female forward, and we're a feminist company, but not anti-man company, because people hear feminist and they automatically think, How did you say, okay, I want to craft our message to be female forward and also tell people we're feminists, but we're not anti-man? Where did that come from?
I think it's really the fact that, like, it's really more about, for a long time, feminism, and still is about equality, right? Or like equal rights. We want to vote. We want to like get paid the same. We can do what we want to do, what we dream of doing. But on the same token, there's also this approach of like how men and women work, and like how they interact, and like Amanda Dare, who owns Women Own Wallet, once said like women often work in circles instead of like tables across from each other. So it's not like oppositional or competitive. It's more like community, and you still have some people across from you holding you accountable or challenging your ideas, but you just have that circular support from each other. And I think that that's really important as a female who's done a lot of work. I come from a background in stand-up comedy, which is also a boys club. Like I've always wanted to do all the things the boys are doing, but like and filmmaking can be a boys club. And so I've run into a lot of problems where my ideas or my leadership were challenged just because, and I've worked with those same people for men, and they don't do that to them when they're the boss, when they're the producer. So just coming into a place where, and honestly, when I was a kid, I was a tomboy. I think I saw weak women when I was young and like didn't do that. And so I started thinking I need to challenge the men. I need to hang out with the men. I need to compete with the men, And then as an adult, I started to realize, no, I just really needed other women who were like me, who were ambitious and supportive and positive. And so I got to a point where I was like, I want to work with women more. And so the company, and I found that usually works better for me. Like, and I still hire men, and I still work with men, and I still collaborate with men. I'm just a little more selective, and I really wanted to create something that other women could work somewhere where they weren't being challenged for their ideas or their strengths constantly. And so that's real important that I'm creating that environment, whether I'm working with men, women, gender, non-binary, it doesn't matter. The idea is that we're creating this environment where everybody is respected for their opinions, for their strengths, for their experience, what they bring to the table. And so it's worked pretty well so far. And a lot of our stories are female forward, but not like somebody pitched me at an American Film Market when I was there. This guy got on the elevator and was like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I have this female forward production company." He's like, "Oh, I got chick flicks that I've written." I'm like, "No, not chick flicks." I'm not at all like a Hallmark fan. It's a chick flick. This is about women, like normal women, and the kinds of things we face and or other issues. We have a project called Kentucky Unmasked that is unscripted. It's a documentary that weaves in like stage storytelling from people who had personal stories related to body autonomy, gender identity, neurodivergence, body image, like just these topics to show that Kentucky is more diverse than we think. So in that case, it wasn't all women. It wasn't all men. It was a blend of all kinds of people to show that we all have such a diverse matrix of experience and identities and struggles, you know, and passions.
Yes.
And, you know, we are, and as one of our interviewees said, we're stronger together than we are apart.
Absolutely.
So, focusing on solutions. Yeah.
I love what you said. It's not a chick flick. Now, Jessica, now some people may be thinking female forward, oh, it's a chick flick. No, we know the difference. When I hear female forward, I think of such great movies that I connect with, like Silkwood, starring Cher and Meryl Streep, about Karen Silkwood, who did something that was not normally what women do, normal race. So explain what you say talking about female forwarding projects.
It's interesting because on the one hand, like, I want to write stuff that's like, these women are badasses and they never mess up and they're, you know, they're strong. But that to be a strong female character, I believe, or to be a strong female, right? True strength can be found in vulnerability.
Yes.
And in realizing that if we can't accept that we have flaws, we're going to break eventually because we're trying to hold force too much, you know, against the wind. And so it's, for example, I said, you know, I'm not really a Hallmark fan. I have a Christmas script right now that's been it's a comedy. It's been winning festival awards, and we're going to start fundraising this year to try to do a really interactive, fun stage version of it before we make it into a film. And it's called It's Christmas Carol, and it's a feminist twist on the Charles Dickens classic. And I call it the anti-Hallmark because it's not a romance, it's not a family film, it's and it's not I'm a woman who knows what I want. It's a neurodivergent, over generous, naive woman who's too nice to everybody. And she doesn't understand boundaries and how to say no, like so many women, even the strong ones, you know.
Yes.
And so she's so nice. She brings a homeless guy home Christmas Eve that says he's a shaman. And when she offers him tea, he offers her plant medicine, and she doesn't know that means drugs. So she says yes. And a drag queen that she works with is so worried about her when he finds out that she's brought this person home, that they send 3 drag queens out to get her made over into their all-night party, like to try to include her in the family and the community there. And they're subtly like the ghost of past, present, and future. And along the way, through the hallucinations that she has, she learns about red flags and boundaries. And also there's this lovely story of your chosen family, right? Yeah. And like, it's to create a safe space for the rest of us in the holidays that don't have that, like, oh, we're a happy family or an unhappy family and we're all going to get together, or I'm going to find love and bliss at Christmas.
In 2 days, Jessica, we're going to find love.
To find a really good time over the holidays, or to feel like you have a family, or to feel like you can go out there and connect with the people who will accept you, right? And so it's not a chick flick, it's not a Hallmark, it's not a hero female. Is that tiny little heroic moments of like improving yourself, like becoming aware of your own patterns and figuring out where you need to structure and create your own life, like what you need to fix in yourself to have the life you dream of. Yeah.
Oh, so you put it so eloquently when you was describing. I'm a TV movie buff, and so I don't know if you watched the show Elsbeth, but Elsbeth is kind of quirky. Nobody understands her, but she's brilliant, and she had to establish herself. She really had to be aware of her surroundings. But she's a lawyer, brilliant lawyer, and figure out. But just doing.
Oh, is that the one that was like in the 1800s or 1900s?
No.
Because there's one with a female lawyer that was set in like the 18 or 1900s. So
no, I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah. But when you are accepting, okay, I'm strong, but I have flaws. I need to have some boundaries. I need to check myself. Yes, that's not a trick flick for female forward movie. Now, Jessica, take us back when you got the email that you were Today's Woman, Most Admired Woman nominee in the media category. Do you know who nominated you?
No, actually, I was really shocked because I have done a lot, and I have done a lot in the community. I also hold community events for the film and TV industry here, but I'm just like, there's so many women who've been for 30 years a news anchor or whatever, you know, and so I was shocked. But last fall, I was getting these emails that would just say your nomination has been received. And I was like, what? I didn't nominate anybody for anything. Like what? And I saw they were from Today's Woman. So I had tried writing like, hey, I'm getting these emails and I don't know if that means people are nominating me or somebody's using my email address to nominate themselves or something. Like I have no idea what's happening. And so when but I didn't get a response at the time. And so when I got the email saying I had been nominated, I was very flattered, surprised, and very flattered. And I think I gave them like a very silly photo from my comedy days because I was like, I don't know how seriously I should take this, but also like I'm gonna go all out and be my little autistic self and and put this ridiculous silly photo of me with all my hair in curlers holding action figures in a bathtub. So.
Absolutely, that's who you are, Jessica. And you don't know, many of us don't know who nominated us, but it, like you said, it's flattering. It's amazing because I'm going through every picture. I'm like, I didn't know she was in Louisville. I need to connect with her. And so how can people connect with She Dreams Entertainment? We may have some writers out there, some people who may want to get into the field and in Louisville, in Kentucky, but just don't know how. They need to meet you and some of your fabulous friends in the industry. So how can they connect with you?
Well, my website is shedreamscontent.com. And we have some great projects there that we're working on that we'll be like looking for investors for and collaborators for. We have projects for rent already, like Mandy McKelvey's Clam, which is a comedy special about body autonomy. It doesn't sound funny, but it's hilarious and important. And then I also have KentuckyFilmandTV.com, which would be more for like people who are interested or curious or they're screenwriters or playwrights. And we have a monthly meetup in Louisville and a monthly meetup in Lexington where actors and writers and filmmakers get together around a table, and 3 different Kentucky writers each time bring pages from their scripts and we read them out loud so they can work on them, and the actors can practice cold reads from scripts, and filmmakers can meet crew, and we have networking afterwards. And then quarterly, we have pitch sessions where 3 people from Kentucky pitch their projects in front of a panel of industry professionals and get feedback in front of an audience, and then turns into a big Q&A and discussion afterwards with everybody. And everybody's learned a lot from it. And really, everybody kind of leave. One of the biggest benefits is inspiration. You leave feeling inspired and supported.
Because it could be lonely being a creative and doing anything that is your passion. And so I love what you all created. Go vote for Jessica Mathis right now, today'swomannow.com in the media category. Jessica, before we leave, speak to someone who says, I want to be in film and TV. I want to do scripts. And they think that they have to leave Louisville or Kentucky to do so. What would
that is a big, that is still a big point of debate, unfortunately. And that's why I started the table reads and the pitch sessions, is to develop our creative side for people who want to write those films and make those films. Because the biggest paid opportunities right now are projects coming in from elsewhere and hiring crew members locally.
Yes.
Not necessarily making Kentucky projects. Yeah. So, but we have the internet now, right? And that most of what I've done and success that I've found has been 2019 is when I started to find success through some fellowships and things like that I was submitting to and getting into the finals of these prestigious fellowships. But then the pandemic happened and lockdowns, and then like a lot of the industry became more open to online things. So when I go to LA, people are surprised at how much I've done from Kentucky. But it was like, you can build something anywhere if you learn how to do it and you really persist, and then also utilize the tools at your disposal. So.
That's it. And connect with Jessica, aka Divinity Rose, as She Dreams Entertainment, one of the 2025 Today's Woman, Most Admired Woman nominees. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for interviewing people that are the nominees and showcasing that. How do you feel about it?
Listen, first of all, I'm excited, but getting to know and interview women that I don't know, and just hearing the backstories, and we all have the same, like, I wanted a passion. I got a passion for this. And we really just put our passion out there and did it and continue to do it. And that's how when people say, I don't do it for the recognition, this is what, reading every story and talking to some of the women, you don't do it for the recognition. You do it from the passion, but when you get recognized, it is a blessing and an honor just to be recognized. And so that's
it is.
how I feel.
I actually did nominate other women, so now I'm like in the same category as somebody I nominated.
Vote. You vote for each other.
Categories, so yeah. So congrats. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to you. Y'all connect with She Dreams Entertainment for all your creative needs and supports and everything. Look out for another Pop Out Live with today's woman nominees. Until next time, thank you, Jessica.
Next time.
Bye-bye.